Greetings Tubiverse, I am one noob, and in this video we're going to talk about combat power, or CP for short. I mean, what is it? What's the point, and why should we care anyways? Top War continues to try to tweak this concept because it needs a metric to match up servers in combat. That's the real reason they're doing this thing, okay? So it's something we need to get a grip on. I'm also going to suggest a few additional tweaks and tell you how you personally can get these ideas into the hands of the developers if, of course, you agree. Now, I know players think about CP in terms of strength in game. Early in game, you see a high CP and think, oh, when I grow up, I want to be that dangerous. Also, the way the Top War presents CP is something to make you want to get your CP as high as humanly possible. I mean, at the bottom of your CP detail screen, you see the little note telling you how much stronger or weaker you are than other players. So it's got to be something to push a little higher to get your best at, right? Just give it your all and just max it out. Well, over time you realize CP isn't all that accurate, and it actually hurts you more than it helps you. Life lessons. It's also something that the developers use to charge you transfer tickets for to move between servers, so that's another negative strike against getting a high CP. So you shouldn't be pushing hard to increase your CP through silly stuff like equipping all your March types. Keep it as low as possible. You'll thank me later in game. What you'll learn eventually is that the most important purpose of CP is matchmaking between servers, and is where we need to focus our thoughts. Now, I have no doubt that the developers at River Game want to create a better matchmaking experience for all of us. When I started playing this game, it was common knowledge that if you dropped your comps before a matchup, it would improve your chances of getting an easier fight. So the order would go out to our server to drop all of our comps, and guess what? It actually worked. Surprise! The developers changed server matchups to be based on players' highest CP, and that was the end of that. So I know you're wondering, hey noob, how do you know that? Do I have some sexy Asian girlfriend that works over at River Game that doubles as a spy for my YouTube channel? No, nothing as cool as that. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. We all know the developers use highest CP still because they literally said it themselves in the spoiler in a recent event before I recorded this video. See, look at this official release from our dear devs. They spelled it out in black and white for us, so we know they continue to work on this funky, weird little measuring stick. So matching up in events, that this is how they're going to do it for a long time. I personally think it was a good change to base it off the highest CP that you've ever attained. So thank you, Top War, for that. I appreciate it. I also think the recent changes are moving the right direction again, but there are still a few easy changes they could do. I think I can safely speak for all of us when I say that we want a fair and fun fight. The only way we can get this is to be matched up against other similar strength servers. If Top War can't get this right, we're going to keep running into this brutal reality at times.
I've done this before. I got a sword. This is fair. I know how to do this. I've been practicing for weeks.
Okay, are you ready to fight?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Yes.
All right. Whenever
No,
you're ready.
I'm not going to do this. This is not fair.
It's
You
not
have
fair.
a real full sword.
I got a real sword. Yeah, I do. So you don't want to fight?
Yeah, because this is plastic.
Oh, that's fair. It is plastic. These type of matchups make people rage quit, which, kind of hurts the game. The recent changes are moving in the right direction again, but I predict that there will still be too many David and Goliath matchups, and in Top War, David doesn't win. He gets smushed and a tiny tank track treads. Now, just try to say that 3 times fast for funsies. Tank track treads, tank track treads, tank track. It's not as easy as it sounds. So, how do I know this is still going to happen? I don't have a magic 8 ball. Let's do it this way, okay? Let's look at my CP score before and after their recent change. Prior to the change, my CP sat at about 35.8 million CP, and not to brag, but I routinely beat people between 45 and 55 million CP. So what happened after they added decor power and base skin power to the score? I only went up to 37.5 million CP. Now, I know that I told you, low is good and high is bad, but I'm really trying to look at this from a fairness perspective in matchmaking, and in this case, I don't think that it worked right. Now, let's give credit where credit is very much due. The developers are on the right track here. Base skins and decor are 2 things that we really need calculated in our CP score, because that's a huge part of how I'm personally able to have a low CP, and yet I can compete with much higher CP level players. I don't think they gave enough weight to these 2 things. My CP, it should have went up more. Now, I know that my cutie and Fluffy has a strong look of disapproval here. Just look, I know, because, well, she's a ninja assassin that loves being in the shadows. But, hey, the gig is already up since Top War put decor into the CP calculation, so I hope she won't hold it against me. Top board needs better weight in this concept and trying to provide more CP points to certain types of decor like march size and less things like, for example, trees and lanterns, fountains, the little gift boxy thingies. Some stuff should not be calculated as worthless. Other stuff should be worth more, right? Makes sense. It's just to name a few. The same thing needs to be true of base skins. I mean, look, let's be objective here just for a second. Look at all the holding and stock effects of my base skins as I scroll through here. Think about all of these stats and how they make my March a lot stronger. Keep thinking about these stats because now I'm going to go back and let's look at my Arsenal CP here just for a second. This is 6.7 million of my CP versus skins only accounting for about 500,000 CP. Look at the stats here, okay? Just take a little look-sees. I mean, don't get me wrong. High rate of fire is a very big deal, and no base skin does that. But all the rest of these components don't scream over 10 times stronger versus my base skins. I didn't even count the skill effects that I get. And my equipment really isn't a showstopper here just yet either. Okay, relax, vets. I know I've not been playing this as long as you. My equipment's kind of weak, but I'm working on it. Relax a little bit, okay? It's good. Don't judge. I haven't been playing as long as a lot of other players, but I'm working on it. Like I said, still, what I have here doesn't make me think, okay, so if I put all the Arsenal items in one bucket and all the base skins and decor items in another bucket, this Arsenal bucket is going to be more than 5 times more power for me. It's just, come on. I mean, just come on. It's not 5 times the value. There's a problem with the measuring stick. I'm just saying. So yes, it's a good start. But let's work on the balance here just a wee little bit. Also, let's hit on one other element we need the developers to work on because, like I said in the beginning, I'm going to tell you how you personally can get these suggestions into the hands of our developers. Yes, I wish I had some inside secret agent, but I don't. It's okay, just wait. It's easier than I think you might think it is in order to get this to them. We really need the developers to limit the players they use to calculate our score to only the players that have played in the last 6 months. We all know there are plenty of people stuck on servers with, well, inactive accounts. Those shouldn't be counted in any calculations that the developers use. After all, a server is the active players, not the orphan husks of once dream-filled generals that left long ago and their little rage quits. These AWOL generals can inflate your score and put you up against far stronger servers, putting the suck into the game. That's what that does, and we don't need to do it. There's a better route. Just leave them out, right? This is the opposite of what we're looking for. The developers can easily fix this by putting an activity limit on what accounts they use in calculating our scores. The developers already lock out transfers in order to calculate our total server CP based on each player's highest achieved CP. Again, they said that. So we know they do a little, math thing. So why not start it out by excluding any account that's been inactive for at least, 6 months? More than this, why don't they just clean them out of our servers and put them in some kind of suspended state? They're just in the way anyways. That way, if a player does come back, they can rejoin the server, no questions asked. But if they're out of the way, we can put cool stuff in place like water parks, bars for funsies, stuff like that. Hey, a boy can dream, right? Okay, so I'm not suggesting the devs let us put water parks and bars into our servers. That's just a part of the joke. I know sometimes jokes don't translate. Another thing that would be great for the developers to do is to make sure we aren't matched up against the same servers over and over again. This happens sometimes, and it's also easy for them to put logic in their matchmaking where the same server can't face a server more than once every 10 times or so. This would keep the game fun for all of us and make sure we keep meeting new friends to smush. My final suggestion here, which isn't so easy to do, is to get away from all of us doing events at the same time. This is a worldwide game, and a lot of servers only have people in a handful of time zones where they're active. I can tell you that the developers know when players are in each server because they have to pay for the server activity. I've played with the servers before. I know this is a thing. So why are we all doing events at the same times, which creates bottlenecks in the ability to play the game, slowing down the servers, and forcing them to spin up new servers to handle the traffic when we could have events based on our common server activity times? Think about it. I mean, come on. Doesn't more money times happier players times less laggy gameplay equal, well, I don't know, good? And some math for you, whatever, made up math. Okay, so that's my rant. And if you agree with me, let's talk about how to get this into the hands of our developers. This is actually pretty easy. First, throw me a like and leave me a comment. Super easy, right? Next, share this video with your friends so we can get the views up. Also, super easy. The last part, last but not least, yes, of course, super easy. I've said super easy a number of times. I'm trying to impart to you the relative ease with we could actually do this if we tried together. And it's what gets the video into the hands of our developers from you personally. first copy the link for this video. You already might have done this if you shared it with people on your Discord server. Next in game, click on your picture and select the Contact Us icon. I think it's in the bottom right. From there, you'll see the Hot Topics link. And after you hit that, you'll see the suggestions for you guys. I kind of like how they phrased that. Now follow the link and select suggestion, then just type something like this. I don't know. Thanks for improving matchmaking, but here's a video from one noob explaining how to make it even better. Then just paste the link to this video. The developers do value our feedback. I know there's some haters out there. They're like, they don't like us at all. They do. They're constantly improving the game. They just don't play it the way we do. They get it wrong sometimes. It is what it is. But they actually do care, okay? The more people that do something like this, the better the shot we have at getting them to continue improving CP. We can't just expect them to watch the video on their own, but if we tell them where the video is and they see a solid amount of views, likes, and comments, it could go a long way in getting this done. So that's the explanation of CP, why it's important, as well as solutions to how it currently sits. I know some of us get really frustrated with certain mechanics in game, but I can tell you the developers have changed matchmaking multiple times to try to make things better, and they have made progress. I think sometimes the biggest hurdle we face is that people throw a ton of problems our way. Same thing's true for them, right? And they never give any solutions. So this is a very different because we can throw solutions at the developers instead of, well, problems. I think this could help us get the game to be more fun for all of us. So thanks for watching. Until next time, Tuberverse.